So, how'd you do? Let me start off by saying that KPIs are hard. They don't necessarily come naturally, so don't feel badly if you didn't nail it on the head the first go around. Many times, students describe tactics beautifully, but fail to articulate the numbers. Metrics are numbers, they are things that we count and report in numbers and numeric format that ultimately link to business success, as I've been harping on. Hint, more followers on Twitter will not equal more sales or engagement via the sneakerhead influencers that this campaign was targeting. Who even knew what a sneakerhead was? I sure didn't before I happened across this case study last semester. And as I've mentioned about measurement, even today, digital, lots and lots of people don't do it correctly, and it can be what we call an add-on, and it's not fully integrated into the communications or business model. In other words, it's not baked in. This is a common problem in our industry, one that I hope that we can use the Barcelona principles and information contained in this course and combat this evil problem. So Nike KPIs, remember that metrics, they're KPIs are metrics. They're things that can be measured. I've given you a definition, and you need to look it up in the course glossary and write it down. Key performance indicator is a measurable value that demonstrates how effectively a company is achieving key business objectives. The Linda course that you are taking this week also includes a definition of a key performance indicator, or KPI is a measurable value that tells our organization how effective we are at achieving business objectives. Every organization would like to know just how successful we are at reaching different targets. When business activities happen via a website or app, analytics can be used to measure and track various KPIs. Of course, there are still certain offline KPIs that we cannot measure with analytics. The main purpose of using KPIs is to help us make better decisions, to be data driven, and to drive specific actions within the organization. Count the KPIs. So three, actually, these are kind of two combined, but there are actually three here. Sneakers app downloads, we will want to track those. Foot traffic at All Star HQ, I'd have participants check in via the app protected by a geofence. If you don't know what a geofence is, that's basically how Snapchat works. I want you to look that up in the course glossary. KPIs for this would also be engagement, how many wristbands were given out. And then real true business KPIs would be sales and market share, shoe sales via the app and website. So we've got some app downloads. We want to make sure that we're tracking the number of times that people download this fabulous app that we have created, and that's part of why you are supposed to do an app in conjunction with your final project. I want you to understand that this is something that has to be tracked, and then we have to move beyond just the download. Are people actually engaging with it? The other thing, if you go to the trouble to go to the website that talks about this Nike sneakers app, the other thing is you can sign up for notifications to get ahead on upcoming releases and keep track of your orders, etc. That would be an ideal thing to keep up with in terms of Google Analytics for our digital metrics. The other concept here is a new one, and unless you chose for your final activity, your activity 8, influencer targeting, this is something that we don't dip into for, especially in the summer for this particular course, although it is a really growing part of digital. It's called influencer targeting, and some metrics that we would want to track in terms of this target audience, this target influencer that we're trying to get at. The sneakerhead. So literally this is a definition on Wikipedia. A sneakerhead is a person who collects, trades, or admires sneakers as a hobby. A sneakerhead may also be highly experienced in distinguishing between real and replica sneakers. Again, who knew there was even someone like this? Actually, my son is a sneakerhead, which I didn't know until I read this article. Influencer metrics we would want to track. We want to obviously get these people talking about our sneakers app and our products. So we want engagement, that's at the top, and how much reach and spread they are able to provide through amplification. That's another thing that we would want to track in terms of metrics. So some digital metrics that would support the KPIs we just talked about, in addition to the influencer metrics that we looked at on the previous slide, we would want to overall track social mentions of Nike plus sneakers. So it would be some combination, as you are familiar with now that you've done the meltwater activity. You would want to not just listen to mentions of Nike, and you might listen to simply mentions of sneakers, but you might also want to look at both of those. Engagement with social content to promote Nike and the sneakers app. You would want to look at reach and spread and sentiment analysis. You would also want to look at earned media. How far are we reaching? Are we getting media coverage? Are those influencers helping us get more exposure and amplification to our message? And as I mentioned in a couple of slides ago, website traffic, our Google Analytics reports will help us understand beyond the app. And of course, app ordering is available in-app ordering, but we would also want to track, if people are bouncing into our website and staying and hanging out, what they're doing, what they're looking at, and react accordingly. So our reporting plan, if we were on the digital team, we might consider every 2 weeks we will analyze the campaign digital metrics as well as any increase in app downloads, sales, and market share, and report all this to the client, whether we're an internal team or an external team, every other Friday morning. So you get the gist. I've repeated it several times. Hopefully one of these will help you create your own measurement and analysis framework. Choose your own KPIs. So peace out, everybody.